24 years ago, a Palestinian man tried to shield his son from Israeli bullets. This is the story of Mohamed Al Durrah. When I first saw this footage over 2 decades ago, I was shocked to my core, as were most people around the world. Today, 24 years on, as a new father, my shock and outrage at what happened penetrates to my core even more than it ever has. The story of Mohamed Al Durrah and his father, Jamal, should be a story we all know and share. The platforms we use to tell the Palestinian story and to show solidarity for those being oppressed are platforms which are working against us every day. The algorithms strip us of followers, hide our stories, and block our messages. It's so important that we work together to share these stories and break these algorithms and spread the truth. If you're watching this and believe in the Palestinian cause and believe in justice for all, please like this video, please share it with your family and friends, and please subscribe. The more you engage, the more subscribers we get, the easier it is to be the voice of the voiceless. Muhammad was just 12 years old in the year 2000. It was the Second Intifada, also known as an uprising, where Palestinians revolted against their occupiers in much the same way as oppressed people throughout the ages have risen up against their oppressors. Whether it be the slaves against the slave traders, South Africans against the apartheid regime, the Jews of the Warsaw Ghetto against the Nazis, or Native Americans against their European colonizers. Oppression has always resulted in violent revolt. Muhammad and his father Jamal found themselves in a hotspot in the West Bank where Israeli soldiers were using live fire against Palestinians. Jamal sought refuge behind a tiny wall, barely big enough to shield his body. He struggled to shield his son Muhammad behind him as bullets rained down on them, and the fear could be seen etched into both their faces. French TV was able to capture this event on camera, and for 40 minutes, Israeli soldiers fired towards them both, hunting them, preying on them like sport, spraying them with bullets in an attempt to kill them both. Bystanders scream at the soldiers, telling them of the child. Jamal waves and waves in a desperate attempt to stop the wall of bullets and appeal to a sense of humanity, which was never there to appeal to. It is gut-wrenching to watch Jamal hug Muhammad tight, desperately trying to keep him behind the cover of the wall and desperately trying to put himself between his son and the bullets. You can feel and see the sense of helplessness, knowing there was nothing more he could do. And then the inevitable happened. Amidst a barrage of bullets, Muhammad slumps forward onto his father, shot in the abdomen, bleeding, dying in the arms of the man who tried to do everything to protect his son. The bullets go silent, as if to say that the soldiers had got what they wanted. They had hit their trophy, they had got their scalp, almost to say that leaving the father alive was a greater anguish to inflict than death. Jamal would have to live the rest of his life knowing he couldn't do what every father knows is his duty: to protect his family. He knew he could do nothing as his son bled to death in his arms, an anguish which would haunt him for life. The harrowing footage was aired by French TV and gripped the hearts of people around the world as just a small snapshot and insight into the injustice of the Israeli grip on Palestinian lives. 24 years on, and Jamal, now a refugee in Gaza, finds himself in the midst of a genocide. Some weeks ago, in an indiscriminate Israeli airstrike, Jamal lost his other son and his 2 brothers. I cannot begin to imagine how a human heart can bear such trauma, such grief, such loss, and still carry on. I cannot imagine what any of us would do and how any of us would feel if confronted with the same horror story. Mohamed Al Durrah, Jamal Al Durrah. Know their names, tell their story, and history will do the rest.